Amako Koye had always lived her life with a careful balance of ambition and spontaneity. That balance shifted the night she stepped into a luxurious bar in Seoul. The city glittered with lights, music, and energy, and she allowed herself to simply exist in the moment, surrounded by laughter, music, and celebration. Amid the crowd, a man sat at a quiet corner table, calm and composed, observing rather than participating. His presence was magnetic, impossible to ignore. Their eyes met across the room, and in that instant a spark ignited, an unspoken pull neither could resist. Throughout the night, they gravitated toward one another with an effortless rhythm, drawn together by an invisible force. Drinks were shared, laughter intertwined with the music, and the city outside became a blur of lights. When the night ended, they left the bar together, walking under the glow of streetlights, their bodies moving in sync, hearts racing with anticipation. In the privacy of a hotel room, time seemed to bend around them. Every glance, every touch, was amplified by the excitement of the unknown. Morning arrived too quickly, sunlight spilling across the floor, and Amako woke to find herself alone. A faint smile crossed her lips as she packed her belongings, leaving behind only a small token, a silent acknowledgement of a night that had already changed her. The memory lingered vivid and potent as she stepped back into the city streets, unaware of how profoundly this encounter would alter her life. A week later, Amaka walked into a modern office building, excitement and nerves swirling in equal measure. She had been offered a position in a prestigious company, an opportunity that promised growth, challenge, and independence. The morning sunlight glinted off the glass facade as she entered, her steps confident yet cautious. She navigated corridors filled with the hum of activity, colleagues bustling past, voices soft but present. Everything seemed normal, until the moment she entered a meeting room and saw him, Ethan Kim, the same man from that unforgettable night, seated at the head of the table, radiating quiet authority and sophistication. Shock rippled through her, followed by a surge of adrenaline. She forced herself to breathe evenly, reminding herself that this was her career, her life, and she would not falter. Ethan's eyes met hers, a flicker of recognition passing through his composed exterior. In that instant, the ordinary office transformed into a delicate stage, a complex dance of professionalism and private history. The days that followed were charged with subtle tension. Every interaction, from passing in corridors to shared coffee breaks, carried a weight neither of them had anticipated. Their connection, once private and fleeting, now existed in the full glare of daylight and corporate scrutiny. Each glance, each accidental touch, reminded them of the night that had ignited something neither could ignore. As the weeks progressed, the tension between them became palpable. Workdays were a mixture of collaboration and unspoken emotion. Meetings were punctuated by fleeting glances, corridors by accidental touches, and coffee breaks by moments of silent acknowledgement. Every movement was charged with meaning, a dance they performed without words. Even outside the office, fate seemed determined to keep them entwined. Chance encounters at cafes, coincidental meetings in parks, and shared experiences in the bustling streets of Seoul created opportunities for connection. Each meeting deepened their bond, shifting it from purely physical to something more emotional, more intimate. The office environment, however, was not forgiving. Corporate expectations, colleagues' subtle observations, and the need for professionalism imposed a constant tension. They learned to navigate the delicate balance of desire and discretion, each encounter a test of patience, restraint, and growing affection. Amidst the challenges, moments of laughter and shared curiosity emerged, reminders of the bond that had begun on a night neither would forget. Amaka's life outside work reflected the vibrant energy she carried within. She explored the streets of Seoul, discovering hidden markets, tranquil parks, and cozy cafes. Photography became a window into her perspective, capturing the beauty and rhythm of the city. She recreated the tastes of home in her apartment, experimenting with Nigerian recipes, her laughter echoing through the quiet space. Ethan's life, in contrast, was composed of luxury, responsibility, and isolation. His penthouse overlooked the sprawling city, a testament to success and achievement, yet it also highlighted solitude. Late nights at his desk, walks along rooftop terraces, and contemplative moments filled his time. Despite the isolation, he found himself thinking of Amaka, her laughter, her energy, and the rare warmth she brought into his life. Their worlds collided again by chance, a cafe visit, a bookstore encounter, or a shared street moment. Each meeting reminded them that their connection could not be confined to fleeting nights or stolen glances. Their lives, once separate, were gradually entwining, and the intensity of their bond deepened beyond desire into affection, understanding, and subtle vulnerability. The closer they grew, the more fragile their connection became. Misunderstandings at work, misinterpreted gestures, and the pressure of ambition threatened the bond they had forged. A misplaced document, a brief glance misunderstood by a colleague, or a delayed response sparked tension, forcing them to confront feelings that had remained unspoken. Alone, both reflected on the consequences of their choices. Amaka stood on her balcony, gazing at the city lights, thinking about the one night that had set her life on an unpredictable course. Ethan, high above the streets on his rooftop terrace, held a small memento from that night, contemplating the delicate balance between his responsibilities and his heart. Rain became a motif for longing and uncertainty. Amaka walked through empty streets under an umbrella, raindrops creating a symphony around her. Ethan watched from a distance, the city reflecting in petals, the weight of unspoken emotion pressing on them both. It was in these moments of separation and reflection that they understood the depth of their connection, a bond that could not be ignored or denied. In the culmination of their journey, Ethan prepared a rooftop scene illuminated by soft lights, the Seoul skyline stretching endlessly behind him. When Amaka arrived, she was taken aback by the intimacy and care invested in the gesture. In that space, above the city that had brought them together, they allowed themselves to fully acknowledge their feelings. Every glance, every touch, every shared heartbeat confirmed what had been building for weeks. Their connection was not merely desire, but love, respect, and understanding. From that night onward, they found a balance between work and passion. In the office, collaboration became seamless, punctuated by smiles, subtle touches, and quiet moments of shared laughter. Outside, they explored the city together, experiencing street markets, rooftops, cafes, and parks. They capture moments of joy, intimacy, and shared experience, building a life together that honored both ambition and love. Their story, born from a single night of chance, evolved into a partnership grounded in trust, affection, and courage. The city lights, reflecting in petals on glass and in their eyes, mirrored the journey they had taken, from strangers in a bar to partners in life. Their hands intertwined, hearts aligned, they stepped forward into a future neither had anticipated, yet both embraced wholeheartedly. Love, it seemed, had found them in the most unexpected of ways, and had transformed everything.